Let's face it, there's a lot of myths in the world of running a service business. The New Flat Rate podcast helps debunk the myths and begin a paradigm shift. For more information on the New Flat Rate, which is a foolproof way to help your technicians sell more, even if they don't know how to sell, go to thenewflatrate.com.
I'm Danielle Putnam, president of the New Flat Rate, and in this episode, I'm hanging out with Susan Frew from Sunshine Plumbing, Heating, and Air. And Susan is actually an author. She wrote the Pufferfish Effect, and she's a speaker, and she's Profit First certified. So today we're talking about a workshop we're doing about Profit First and the importance of learning how to protect the profit in your business. So check this out to learn more of how and why to become Profit First.
My friends Pam and Chris finished tucking their young ones into bed one evening when they heard crying coming from the kids' room. Rushing in, they found Tommy crying hysterically. He had accidentally swallowed a penny and was sure he was going to die. No amount of talking could change his mind. Trying to calm him, Chris palmed a penny that he had happened to have in his pocket and pretended to remove it from Tommy's ear. Tommy naturally was delighted. In a flash, he snatched it from his father's hand, swallowed it, and demanded cheerfully, "Do it again, Dad." If you like stories like this, you'll enjoy Storytime with TNFR. Stay tuned to the end of the episode, and that's where we share the segment called Storytime with TNFR. In that segment, we'll tell you real stories about real people with real businesses and how TNFR helped.
So let's get to know Susan a little bit better.
Hi, very nice to see you, Danielle. Great to be here.
So glad that you're here. Thanks. You actually traveled to Dalton, Georgia.
I did.
It's a little rainy and cold here today.
Yes, but it was really nice to travel again.
Right?
I love traveling.
Last year. Yeah, I'm glad that you did. I called Susan and I said, hey, we'd love to do a workshop on Profit First for our members, and but not everybody is traveling right now. She says, no, I don't have a problem with it at all. I'll jump on a plane right now. So I'm glad to have you here in person.
Yes, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know, sidestep, maybe even before we dive into the business talks, I just heard you say that you used to do professional ski racing.
Yeah, I did. Well, many, many years ago, I was living in New York City and I got transferred to Denver with AT&T Wireless. And then I ended up getting transferred to the Caribbean. I lived there for 2 years and I was the general manager of 2 countries.
Wow.
And when I came back to Breckenridge, Colorado, ski resort, and I decided I'm going to live there. And I bought a business coaching franchise. So during that time, I learned to ski and started racing. And oddly enough, I coached now up to 19 different trades.
Wow.
And that wasn't by design. It's just sort of the way it happened.
It's the experience over time, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And becoming an expert over time, 19 different trades you could coach into.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And during that time, around 2011, I met my husband, who was a boiler genius. His boilers are absolutely fabulous. They've been published 11 times because they're beautiful. So we started a new company down in the Denver area called Sunshine Plumbing, Heating, Air. And that's how I ended up in the plumbing business after all these years.
Yeah. What was your role in the plumbing business?
Initially,
or is it now still? Are you still in the business?
Well, initially I was just sort of coaching from the sidelines, and then of course I was impatient with that because my name was on there too. And I actually became general manager in 2013, and I am just passing the baton this year. I will no longer be general manager in 2021. I am going to be speaking full-time and coaching and working with people who want to sell their companies.
Interesting. I've been talking to a lot of people lately about exit strategy, so we should do another talk on that, because I know that a lot of people are scared to even talk about it, really.
Yeah.
But if you don't talk about it and plan and think about it, then you're just wishful hoping and nothing happens, right?
Yes, and that also goes for even if you want to give it to your children, like there's a process to get everyone prepared and thinking about tax and all of these other things. You can't just up one day and say, I'm going to sell my company and it's magic. Like you need to be prepared.
You do. Man, I can tell we could talk all day long, but for the sake of our viewers and the sake of time, let's dive into Profit First. Tell us, what is Profit First? What does it mean to be a Profit First business? What's the concept?
Well, Profit First is based off a book by a man named Mike Michalowicz. He wrote the book, I'm probably going on 10 years ago now. And I have always subscribed to the theory that you take your profit out of your business first. It's sort of like taking traditional accounting and flip-flopping it on its head. A few years ago, our company experienced we made a very bad hire. I was traveling around, I was speaking, I was coaching, I was out of the office probably 70% of the time, and our company got in some big trouble. And even to me, a person who's coached all those trades, I was fooled just as much as anybody else could be. And we were able to do a turnaround using Profit First.
Wow.
And we got ourselves out of $1 million in debt.
Wow.
So
that's painful.
It is, I know, people get like, they start getting a little sweaty when I throw that number out there. But what happened was I found this sort of recipe to help other businesses to get through whatever they need to get through. And I just really felt so strongly that I needed to go out and do this work full time that I went and became certified in the Profit First system. Awesome. And our company is now turned around. We are now enjoying the fruits of our profit distributions every quarter. And for any size business, it doesn't matter what size your business is, you can still use Profit First. And maybe it's only a small percentage and you grow into a larger one, but it's putting money away for you, working hard, and making sure that you get your just dessert.
Wow. I like a lot of things that you said, that any size business can start taking the profit. Something my dad always says is the number one job of the CEO of any business is to guard and protect the company profit. And how often, especially in the trades, do we think that we're more profitable than we are, and we don't even realize that we're spending the profit. When we do a job, we sell a job, we pay for the materials, we pay for the costs, and then we use that money to pay for something else. And if we don't reach in and grab the profit right away first, then it gets spent, right? The black hole of the business.
Absolutely. I always like to say this, revenue is ego, profit is theory, and cash is king.
Wow.
Right? Because on your profit and loss statement, it could show that you have all this profit, but in reality, your pockets are turned inside out.
Right.
And you're not paying yourself. You're working more hours than anyone else, and you're not getting paid. And it's just not right.
It's not. So you take that profit first.
Yes.
Now, a couple little other tips I know that we could maybe share right now is becoming Profit First, you open up separate bank accounts.
Yes.
Tell me about those.
Well, what it does, it's really just like grandma's old envelope system, right? Where you put a little bit, every time you get paid, you put a little bit in each envelope. So you've got groceries, you've got vacation fund, you've got the mortgage payment, you've got all of that. So basically you're doing that, but with your bank accounts. Okay. So you set up an operating account, which you already have. You set up an income account, which is money coming in, tax, owner's compensation, and profit.
Okay.
And sometimes the profit and owner's comp could be together. It all depends how you're paying yourself. So if you pay yourself on a W-2 account, then you may not need to have as much in the owner's comp, but there's going to be a percentage and you're getting yours first.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the owner's W-2 might be coming out of the operating account with the rest of the payroll, and then it's just additional over in the owner's compensation.
Yes, but the key is that the owner gets paid first.
Yep.
And what we also coach businesses to do in Profit First, it forces them to reduce their operating expenses. So for us, we had to move out of our big giant shop, which was way overpriced. When we found that shop to rent, the market was extremely high, and we got sucked into this lease, and we couldn't afford to be there.
Right.
So you have to make some tough decisions, but now we're able to enjoy profit. It was so worth it.
Yeah. You know, overhead really is a big, scary, ugly bear that gets bigger and bigger
Yes.
especially if we don't watch it. I know last year being a COVID year, and we still kind of are this year in 2021, very much so. There's still a little bit of unknown for a lot of people, right?
Yes.
And so it's a really great time. We talk to a lot of businesses about what can you cut that you don't need, cutting your overhead, and be a little bit more profitable right now. But
Absolutely.
it's a good time to step back and say, where is the waste in my business? And that's stealing from your profit, really, right?
Yeah.
If you're paying all these things, your business, your building is too big. Maybe you have way too many things out in the shop yard that you don't need. Inventory.
Yeah.
You probably know more than I do, like a list of things that you could start cutting.
Well, there is, and unfortunately, sometimes you have grown into people
Yes.
that are not working out. Like you may have Uncle Joe working in your company who really isn't bringing a lot to the table anymore,
Yeah.
and we're still paying Uncle Joe's big giant salary.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes you have to make those type of tough decisions
Mm-hmm.
on, eliminating or restructuring some positions within the company so that you can be more profitable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're not running a profitable business, or if you don't have some profit, you're really lying to yourself.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Just
Right.
go out and get a job. You'll have less stress.
Yeah, I say that all the time. I say that often at home. I tell my husband, I'm a business owner, but I could just go get a job at Starbucks. They're a really great employer.
Exactly. And when you're getting paid hourly,
Yeah.
it's probably like $7, so it's fine.
Yeah. Wow, this is really good. What else should we talk about?
Well, Profit First for me has been transformational. It really has been a huge opportunity for me to restructure my company. And I have seen other clients, and it doesn't matter. So if you have debt, Profit First is fabulous because it will take you through reducing that debt and using your profit to pay that down, still rewarding yourself, and then taking you into a whole new profitable season. However, it has just been so enlightening and so rewarding to see other businesses using it.
Yes.
And seeing them have that success that they always dreamed of in their businesses, regardless of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps so many businesses be prepared
Mm-hmm.
for what's happening right now.
Yes. Yeah, it's so good. There's so many, especially in the trades, so many small businesses, medium-sized businesses, that the owners are not paying themselves what they're worth.
Yep.
And they're not paying a full salary. They might do a partial salary. But starting to do profit first, and then actually recognizing that you need to have your compensation in line with where it needs to be, so you can be honest, so you can take a look at what expenses need to be cut and what changes. When the cash flow isn't there, we have to change, right? When the numbers change, we have to change. We have to change with business to keep growing and moving forward.
And there's a natural tendency too, like, oh, we're short on cash, let's borrow some.
Yeah.
Right? And we as business owners get inundated on a daily basis with emails, phones, texts, whatever from these lenders that be like, oh, we can get you $100,000 by this afternoon. Okay, well, we're not going to tell you how much the rate is, but we get sucked into that. I mean, I've done it myself years ago, and I won't do it ever again, but there's also that. Mm-hmm. And so Profit First also helps you to say, you know what, I'm not going to borrow anymore. Mm-hmm. And whatever I have out there, we're going to get to the bottom of it and pay it off.
Yeah. That can be tough. Choosing not to borrow.
It's really tough.
Uh-huh.
It's really tough, and it is a discipline, and over time, but you know what? You can sleep again. I mean, I don't know about anybody else out there, but I'll tell you, when we were going through our financial troubles, before we started doing the system, I wasn't sleeping. I mean, I would wake up in the middle of the night. How are we going to make payroll? Right. How are we going to cover all those truck payments? Should we move? Should we not move? And I was working outside of the company too. Uh-huh. And so, I always joke that I was Sunshine Sugar Mama for a couple of years.
You were.
I was paying for everything. So, and I realized I just didn't want to do that anymore. I couldn't do that anymore.
No. It's too much stress on you, your health.
Yes.
Your family, your relationships, your business.
Yeah. And I actually thought about selling my business. And I looked at what the value of it was at that point, and it wasn't even enough to cover everything.
Wow.
So I needed to go back to the drawing board and find a way.
Yep. Wow. You know, embezzlement's scary. How is there anything that you could recommend to people that maybe need to take a look at their business to how would people identify if there's any kind of embezzlement happening in their business?
Well, it's very, very difficult to find, one. It's also very difficult to prosecute, right? When you call up a detective in your community and say you think you have an internal theft or you have money missing or you have a diversion of funds or something to that effect, they will roll their eyes and groan immediately because it's very, very hard to find. It's really hard to prosecute. It's a really long cycle. It takes them months and months and months of digging. But I thought that by looking at my QuickBooks every day, which I do, looking at my dashboard of my software, my service software, I thought that everything that I was doing and looking at, I thought I had it down. But the one thing I wasn't doing, Danielle, is I was not getting my own mail. One thing. So my employee was getting the mail and hiding the fact that we had all of this debt, that we had letters from the IRS, we had all of these things, and I didn't really know what was going on until I got a ring at the doorbell one Saturday morning with a letter from the IRS showing that we owed $425,000 in penalties and interest.
Oh.
Yes. So it was a bad day. And I think they intentionally send those to you on Saturday so you can be miserable all weekend and you can't do anything until Monday. So, yeah. But
wow.
I'll never forget that day. It was probably one of the worst days of my life. And yeah. It's only upward from there.
You know, and you make a really, really great point, Susan. The importance of getting your mail. I have heard a tip before too, have one person be in charge of like getting the mail, the person that doesn't, maybe not the accountant, somebody that does not do the finances, somebody else is in charge of getting the mail and distributing. I've heard that helps, but as an owner, making sure that you check your own mail.
Yes, absolutely, that was key. And I still now to this day, no matter what my travel schedule looks like or anything, even though I'm no longer general manager, I still am the only one with the key to that mailbox.
Wow.
And I have a remote card, so I have it go to a post office center, and I have a remote card, and I'll even go over the weekend and get my mail and go through everything, and I 100% know what's happening.
Wow, what a tragedy, but yet what a fantastic story that you're telling us here, and I'm sure there's so many people on here that can relate. Hopefully they haven't had the embezzlement, but the pain and the struggles of being a business owner, feeling like you have to do it all, wanting to not have to do it all. I know it's tough, but Profit First is such a bright and sunny day, really.
It is. And I want to offer people encouragement, right? So no matter what you have been through, if 2020 was, hell for you, as it was for so many, and your business is struggling, there is a way out of this. There really is. You don't need to be alone. You don't need to be ashamed. We've all been through it, right? It's okay, and you'll get through it.
I love it. Well, Susan, if people want to reach out to you, learn more about Profit First, or even to have you come speak to them, how can they reach you?
Very simple. Susan@susancoaches.com is my email. My website is susanrobertsfrew.com. There's contact forms all over the place. Just reach out, and I would love to have a conversation and see if there's any advice that I can offer you.
Awesome. So glad that you're here. We're actually going to do a Profit First workshop now with Susan here on site.
Yes.
And so if you'd like to get the recording, reach out to us at the new flat rate, and we'd be happy to share that with you.
What a story. When I listen to Susan's story, it's very difficult for me not to tear up. And I try to hide my tears, but she really shares the struggle of being a contractor and the struggle of having embezzlement issues in her business. And so many have shared that same experience. So the importance of learning how to become profit first and to guard and protect the company profit check out Susan. You can YouTube, Google, listen to her TED Talk, reach out to her for more information. And if you'd like to get the recording from the workshop or learn more from Profit First from the New Flat Rate, reach out to us, info@menupricing.com or thenewflatrate.com. Have a great day.
For this week's story time, I actually have a clip of a technician named Pat who really learned the value of options and giving his customers options. So please check it out. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, doing a little check-in here. Ran my first furnace call since I've been back from the flat rate training this morning, and it made me realize a couple things as far as options. You know, I've been doing this for 15 years now, and I've always thought I gave my customers options. I really haven't been. I've actually been kind of giving them the options that I think they should be doing, and letting them choose from there, and sometimes not even that. Today I went out on a furnace that was installed in 1988. Lennox Pulse system. I don't know if some of you guys out there know what that is, but anyway, 90% efficient furnace. This unit was in an older home, historical home, and these folks that were there love this place. They take care of it, outstanding. And so I get in there and I take a look at this machine, and some of the company's been doing maintenance on it, not a very good job at all. And they called me because they weren't happy with the options that these folks had been doing the maintenance on this thing for like 5-6 years, and they came out and said they needed a new one. Anyhow, did my evaluation and found out that basically the ignition system had failed. Normally I would have probably did the same thing this other company did and said, hey, this machine's 33 years old, you're going to have a $500 repair, you really should get a new one. I didn't go down that road. One, she told me not, basically told me not to, but I picked the page, went upstairs, sat down with her, explained my top option to her, and she basically told me that she's going to be here forever. She likes old stuff. She likes fixing it. She's concerned about the environment. She's concerned about today's product only lasting, 10 years. She gave me an example of her new refrigerator she bought a few years back. Spent $2,000 on a 8-year-old piece of shit that she ended up replacing anyway. So she picked the top option right away. She said, I said, there's other options here. She said, well, I don't even want to, look at these other options or even the Band-Aid. I want you to make this thing new again. So I took a repair. She took the top option, which was $1,300. Went through the whole thing, made it brand new for her, showed her the work we did, and she was ecstatic. So my point of my message here is the options. Have we truly been giving our customers the service that they've been asking for? And no, I haven't been until today. And it's a sigh of relief as far as when she picks the top option or even any options. It was easy for her, it was easy for me, and I had a good day. Amazing. All right, buddy. Have a great day. Take care, and platinum.
Wow, I really enjoyed Pat's story. Menus are so simple and so powerful that waiters and waitresses use them to sell hundreds of millions of dollars in products and services every single day with no sales training at all. Why aren't more technicians using options? Well, with the new flat rate, that's what we train, is how to offer options to your customers and how to give your customers the best service possible. So don't forget to check us out at thenewflatrate.com, or you can email us at info@menupricing.com. Have a great day.